You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net.
Thank you for joining us at Cy Donnelly Field here on the campus of St. Anthony's High School for this spring break matchup between the Friars and the Suffern Mountains here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Suffern 2-1 on the year. St. Anthony's also 2-1 on the season. The Friars ranked the number 12 team in America, coached by Summer Copeland in her 6th season, while Suffern is coached by John Callahan in his 27th year. Suffern's lone loss on the season, 10-7 against Nyack, while St. Anthony's fell last week 7-6 against Wantagh. But the Friars have plenty of talent, and the best of the group is Tess Calabria, a 5-star North Carolina commit. She's the top-ranked attacker in the class of 2024, played for Team USA this summer, 37 points, 28 goals, 9 assists a season ago, and has special versatility, equally good attacking from X and going to work up top, and a little bit more physical this year. Really took over that Wantagh game on the ride. As we take a look at the starting lineup for St. Anthony's, you see Calabria, and her running mate is Megan Kenny, a fellow North Carolina commit, a fellow 5-star in that class of 2024, according to Summer Copeland, potentially the single fastest player on Long Island. So she is special, and her and Calabria can just put on a show. Pacing them defensively is Amanda Pacey, as we're about to get underway. Opening draw control here at St. Anthony's. 25 minutes on the clock. The Friars are in the white and black with the gold trim, while it's the royal blue, the baby blue trim, white numbers for Suffern. Suffern won the matchup between the two teams a year ago, but they lost a whole lot of talent off of last season's team, graduating Emma Muchnick, one of the top 10 players in the country, as the Friars battled to get the ball back on the ride. Nice job evading the pressure that time by Caitlin Ruggiero, rather. And talking to head coach John Callahan, as we noted, in his 27th year, took Suffern to the state semifinals a season ago, where they fell to Suffolk County's Northport. This is somewhat of a rebuild, but they still expect to be very, very good this season. Again, able to knock off the Friars 1 year ago behind the efforts of Emma Muchnick, the current Maryland freshman. Players to watch offensively. Look at that number 1, Michaela Fay, just a freshman. She's star potential for the Mountain. Fay dumps it off. McCarran Pressured as he tries to zip it inside, and that ball snatched up by the all-everything goalie, Lexi Zenk. It's off the mark on the outlet, though, and a scoop in space for Isabella Fortunato. Fortunato pushes it up the field to Schelling. Schelling pressured by Amanda Pacey, the ace defender for St. Anthony's, also a star on the Friars basketball team. Faye, the freshman, this the biggest test of her young career. Lobs the ball in. Couple pump fakes, but no room to fire for Schelling. Sullivan just absolutely hounded by Emma Toner. Excuse me, Kate McConaughey defending her. There's the initial infraction penalty called against Blair Davy, so it'll be free position for Suffern. Racing in, a fake and a shot deflected by Zenk, denying Quinn McCarron the Villanova commit. Lexi Zenk holding up in the early going. St. Anthony's, the defending Nassau-Suffolk Catholic League champions, a 17-5 victory over Sacred Heart in the title game a year ago. Just 3 losses a year ago for the Friars, one of them to the Mounties. St. Anthony's looks to apply that signature pace, a give and go. Binkius lost the ball. Scooped up for the moment by Fortunato, but dispossessed, and now it's Megan Kenny. Binkius passes it off. DeCarlo, roll dodge, hunting for space, well guarded by Michaela Fay, the freshman, showing out on both ends of the ball. Quick move put on by DeCarlo, a shot ripped wide. Backed up well, though, by Tess Calabria. So here she is, the 5-star North Carolina commit. We'll draw 2. Excellent pass and a dunk for Kate Licciardi. The opening goal of this one goes to St. Anthony's less than 5 minutes into the ball game. And a reminder that today's matchup is presented by Catholic Health. Calabria drew 2 and dunked in by Licciardi. Calabria was a special talent a year ago as a sophomore, but just has that extra bit of physicality, that extra savviness this season. Binkius bats it up the field. And on the run, it's Michaela Fay. Charlotte Ullman. Fay swings it over. Fay, a different type of player than Emma Muchnick, but similar level of talent according to John Callahan. Has special speed and a rare IQ for a player so young. So free position now for Charlotte Ullman. Quick face dodge from Leali. Trying to stretch out Kate McConaughey. Faye chased by Binkus. Binkus is senior, the most reliable player on the team, according to Summer Copeland. Just rarely gets caught out of position. Faye had a teammate wide open, but instead it's the INT from Blair Davi. Davi streaking down the field, beating the ride with ease. Davi, look ahead. Laura Matika cut off for the moment. It was Quinn McCarron who was wide open for Suffern, and that's another one for St. Anthony's. Zipped in quick, and Meg Kenny on the finish. And let's take another look. St. Anthony's patient. And Kenny on the dive, and you saw how tricky that was. It was an inside hand catch. She pivoted the ball outside and then beat Jillian Terlezzi, sophomore goaltender for Suffern, a potential Division I prospect down the road. Draw control, batted around, and a running scoop from Calabria. Calabria chased by Faye. Calabria turning the corner, leaves it off belatedly. Shot, a pump, a score! Jill Lopez, who came off the bench today, but is essentially a starter for Summer Copeland. And let's get another look. Calabria creating so much havoc early in this game. And it was Calabria, actually, who had the finish, not Jill Lopez. It was a give and go. St. Anthony, as we mentioned, just 3 losses a year ago. Fell to Suffern, fell to McDonough, fell to Darien. And had wins over Wantagh, over Manhasset. And the Warriors got some measure of revenge against the Friars this year. We noted a week ago, 7-6 victory. Led by the duo of Eva and Grilly, Maddie Limo. Is that Wantagh team. St. Anthony's, it was kind of an uncharacteristic effort for Summer Copeland's squad, who pride themselves on playing fast, but also playing smart and not being particularly turnover prone, but had 20 in that game. And Summer Copeland said, look, it was a lot of individual play, and it was a case of a team that played 2 high-level scrimmages against Garden City and Bayport Blue Point. But, wow, that was absolutely dirty from Calabria. Let's take another look. St. Anthony's pouring it on early. Looking for some revenge against Suffern. Calabria was patient until she wasn't. The inside hand finish, attacking from X. 2 goals in about a minute for Tess Calabria. These two teams play pretty much annually, about 8 or 9 times over the last decade, and it's generally a 1-goal game. There are rare years where it's not close between the two. And this might be one of those times with Suffern having lost so much talent off of last season's team, not to mention a torn ACL for Daniela Trubiano, who was on track to be main scorer this year along with Michaela Fay. or at least in that conversation. As Calabria will run the point just under 8 minutes into this ball game, already 4-0. Calabria now swung over to Licciardi. Licciardi, an excellent feeder. And quick move put on that time by Holly Hardwick. Hardwick trying the bounce shot, or rather it was Calabria firing. Second chance opportunity for St. Anthony's. Calabria looking for the quick hat trick and denied by Terlezzi. So Calabria inches away from her third goal in just about 3 minutes. Suffern wants to play a very meticulous style, wants to slow this game down. Obviously, being down by 4 goals will make that a little bit more difficult. Going to have to be a bit more offensive-minded, a bit more aggressive than originally intended. Kayla Fay give and go. Shot put on, and Zenk snatched it out of the air. Golden look for Quinn McCarron, not able to pay it off. Davi check down, and now it's Pacey on the restart. Pacey, an incredible athlete on a team full of them. Hard to say with Megan Kenny on the same team, but Pacey's in that conversation for the best overall athlete on St. Anthony's roster. Of course, Tess Calabria would have something to say about that as well. Moves put on by Matika. And she'll have free position. An 8-meter. Staring down Terlizzi. Terlizzi, a special goaltender as a sophomore, but going to have her hands full today. With this group of St. Anthony's attackers and a relatively inexperienced in front. And Matika beats her. So Lauren Matika, the senior midfielder and attacker, gets her first goal of the season. Or at least since the opening game against Kellenberg. Just had that early release on it. And Terlezzi wasn't quite ready. So 5-0, St. Anthony's, 10 minutes in. And a reminder that today's Sportscast is brought to you by Catholic Health.
Yeah, right. You're right. That's what I meant to say.
And Suffern for just the second time on the day. Wins the draw control. Faye doing a nice job against the ride. The next girl up in this Mounties program. What a crossfield swing to Nevin Sullivan. Back to Sullivan. Faye looking for room, and she'll earn free position. The violation going against Blair Davi. The U Chicago commit trying to track Faye. So Faye against Zank, bouncer, and Zank all over it. Zank also a 5-star in the class of 2024, one of the top 25 players in the country. Makes saves that she simply has no business getting to. And Summer Copeland says she has a chance when it's all said and done to be one of the best goalies to ever come through this St. Anthony's program. And look, given the fact that her backups are committed to Stanford and Rutgers respectively, pretty good endorsement of Lexi Zank's ability. Kenny dodging, and Kenny got clipped across and looked like the forehead that time. And she'll have free position. That is the great development for Kenny this year. It was always extraordinarily fast. but her deceleration is at another level and is just able to stop her feet consistently before her defender can. Leads to a lot of open space, and she has one of the 2 hardest shots on this Friars roster to pay it off. Kenny, off the crossbar. Long rebound, skims its way out to Nevin Sullivan. So Terlezzi will point guard the clearance. After Megan Kenny missed a 6th goal for the Friars by about 2 inches. Patient with it is Nicole DeBellis. Another player that John Callahan is really high on. Dureno draws 3 white jerseys, smartly gets rid of the ball. Pushed further up the field by Schelling. Now the Mounties have numbers. But the Friars get back, settled in on defense. Pump and run for Charlotte Oldman. The Mounties leader in assists early on this season. Faye able to draw out Emma Toner. Quick move from Faye. You see 2 defenders constantly aware of Emma Faye, with Amanda Pacey leading the way as the backer in that zone and just takes the ball away. That's what she does. Pacey up ahead to Kenny. Mind-melting speed from Megan Kenny. Leaves it off. Extra pass. Trick shot. Sent wide that time for Sam DiCarlo. Zipped in front of the cage and put in. And there's the first goal for Jill Lopez. Gorgeous sequence of passing for the Friars. Just watch the off-ball movement of Jill Lopez, getting just a bit of separation for Madison Leali and taking full advantage of it off the feed from Kate Licciardi, who just had her 7th assist of the season. A reminder, you're watching Girls Lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network, presented by Catholic Health. Varsity Media, your home for Long Island lacrosse all season long, and we want to remind you to subscribe on YouTube. If you're already on YouTube, all you have to do is click that big red subscription button underneath the play screen. Also hit that notifications bell so you never, ever miss a sportscast. Holly Hardwick taking the draw control this time for St. Anthony's. Able to lob it up. Calabria was there for the moment. And instead to be taken down the field by Binkis. Calabria setting a screen. Little pick and roll action for St. Anthony's. And Calabria has the free position. That's an interesting way to use her. She got a goal in the Catholic title game a year ago on that same action. A little bit of a crease dive. Calabria fakes the pass, takes the shot, puts it in. A hat trick for Tess Calabria. Now up to 12 goals on the season. And a look here at the #1 attacker in America in the class of 2024. The pump, go, put it home. North Carolina coaching staff has to be watching this game and salivating. Calabria, Zank, Kenny, all having their moments. Calabria always had special movement skills, but really put an emphasis on her finishing this summer. That is a part of her game that is truly elevated. So 7-0, St. Anthony's, less than 15 minutes in. Hardwick flipped it, but over to Michaela Fay. Fay ridden hard, but splits two defenders. Karen. Ullman turning the corner. Long stick of Amanda Pacey, making that save a bit easier for Zenk, who is just an eraser in the cage. Against an average high school goalie, Suffern probably has 3 or 4 goals, and this is a bit more of a ball game, but Zank has made save after save after save. The junior standing on her head in this first half. Vela, easy put in for Lauren Matika, her second. Easy play for Tess Calabria. Not pressured at X. Matika cutting straight to the goal. Pass shot in. 8-0 St. Anthony's. Again, a reminder, you're watching Girls Lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network, presented by Catholic Health. The Friars have a whole lot of depth. They've been able to play a ton of it, and we're likely to see it today. Again, these two teams play annually, generally a 1 to 2 goal game one way or another, but just a whole lot of losses for Suffern, and St. Anthony's in their own right. Lost a lot of players. Abby Locasio, top 10 player in the nation a year ago now at Northwestern. Ava Biancardi, top 50 player in the country, headed to Duke. The Nassau-Suffolk Catholic League Player of the Year a season ago. Kat McAteer, a key piece, but Friars don't rebuild. They reload.
I'm going to be here. I'd rather watch something exciting. But yeah, right. If it's going to be a blowout, I'd rather get out of here quick.
And a nice save that time from Terlizzi. Again, she is a heck of a talent in her own right. Just getting peppered with shots, though, in the early going. As we already mentioned, Suffern graduating Emma Muchnick, the all-everything superstar, an All-American, a 5-star. Actually led the University of Maryland in goals in a game earlier this season, so you can imagine what kind of impact she had. And talking to Summer Copeland before the game, she mentioned, look, they felt like they might have had the better team last year, but Emma Muchnick was clearly the best player on the field when those two teams matched up a season ago. And that wasn't it. They also lost Kate Burns, who's now at Holy Cross, Jenna Myhow, University of Tampa, a couple of other key seniors. And at the public school level, as you could have the best program in the world, but you lose 2 All-Americans, you are going to feel it this season after. Mr. Lizzie just sitting on this ball. And pass too high that time for Isabella Fortunato. And scooped up by Hardwick, who will get the reset. Deep inside Suffern territory. And now possession flipped to Fortunato and Suffern. I'm not quite sure what the disagreement between the two officials were there. One said St. Anthony's ball. The other official said Suffern ball. I guess Suffern wins that conversation as Summer Copeland and company getting an explanation now. Friars just, they want to put their foot down. They want to be relentless. They have an immense amount of respect for this Suffern program. Racing is DeBellis. DeBellis. Smothered. Combination of Tess Calabria and Emma Speed coming right at her, and now she throws it away. Transition for the Friars. Speed. Calabria one-on-one. The fake and the stop. Or perhaps just a miss for Tess Calabria. Either way, great positioning from Jillian Terlizzi. Calabria dumps it off. Speed. Terlizzi got the stop initially, but then fumbled it. And a crease violation will take that goal off the board. Still, it was excellent work from Terlizzi. I mean, you are rarely spending a lot of the first half complimenting a goalie when her team is down 8-0, but Terlizzi's had some moments. Even if this relentless Friars attack has won out more often than not. Pacey streaking up the field, leading the break, taking a hit. Pacey showing some good discipline. You know, defenders, in those situations, they say, hey, it's 8-0. Why not me? And Amanda Pacey, certainly the kind of athlete, the kind of talent. She would probably be an all-county type of attacker at another school in another situation if that was her inclination. Calabria, the little handoff. Bouncer stopped that time is from Bridget Darcy. And that ball found its way into the back of the net. Tess Calabria, her 4th goal. Let's take another look. It was a whole lot of bodies in front of the cage. Calabria, quick pump, and score. And Calabria's mostly showing her offensive ability today, but you look back at that Wantagh game. Calabria was keeping the Friars in it with her defense, winning the ball over and over and over again on the ride. Schelling able to bat it back. But a nice scoop by Jenna Binkis. Take the ball off the turf. Fumbled by Sam DiCarlo. And then now it'll be Kenny on the reset. Wigori tried to fit that pass in, instead an INT for DeBellis. DeBellis, another one of those players who has extremely high expectations. Excuse me, just a freshman. Lee alley, up the alley. Suffering a couple of good wins to start the season, knocked off Burnt Hills, Boston Lake, and we mentioned the lone loss to Nyack, 10-7. Last season, Suffern falling to Northport, a game that they led at halftime. The Tigers ripped off 4 straight goals in the state semifinals to get the win, and we'll have a golden shot at their first goal here with Quinn McCarron, the Villanova commit, twirling her way into a free position. The Zenk has been a vault. That'll be another free position for Quinn McCarron. Super creative, according to John Callahan, is McCarron. A great ability to manipulate a defense. Kate McConaughey to her left. Blair Davi right behind her. This backer zone allowing Summer Copeland to consistently put 2 on the ball. Looked like a clean check initially from Davi, but now the whistle blows and tic-tac-toe passing. Cut off on the interior, Shelling. Friars have just been locked in defensively. Davi emerges from the pack with the ball.
I had no idea who had the ball.
Clearance from McConaughey. Kenny, start and stop. Pivoting, firing, scoring. Megan Kenny has the lead up to double digits. Kenny's second goal on the day, doubling her total on the season. Now 4 goals, 4 assists for Megan Kenny. Man, what a shot. Drifting to her left. Is so good at wrong-footing defenders. You saw it there. Special change of direction. And this is a special St. Anthony's team. They're up 10-0. The number 12 team in America is rolling over Suffern right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your events or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Thank you for joining us back here at St. Anthony's High School. A 10-0 lead for the Friars over the Mounties. I wanted to remind you to subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. All you have to, and we know you are because that's the only place you can watch us, so just exit out of the full screen, hit that big red subscription button so you never miss a sportscast going forward. And for extra content, you can follow us on all forms of social media, including Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we wanted to remind you that you can bring your game to life, too, with our Varsity Media Sportscast. They feature announcers, multiple cameras, instant replay, and graphics. It's great for rivalry games, senior days, and general promotion of your team. If you're interested in booking a sportscast, all you have to do is give us a call at 516-403-2050. That's 516-403-2050. Or visit varsitymedia.net. And we also do, yeah, that's right, multifunctional business over here. College recruiting videos. What do they offer, you ask? Good question. Custom editing effects to help your players stand out, your choice of music, and a link for college coaches to check out your son or daughter. So why sign up? It's a fantastic opportunity to save thousands upon thousands of dollars in college tuition, help your child land a spot on the team of their dreams, and stand out from the competition. All you have to do is contact us at 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. He is a pleasant guy to deal with, so I would go that route personally. And you can mention this ad and get 10% off. So a 10-0 lead for St. Anthony's as we take a look At our upcoming girls' schedule, we got Sacred Heart and Cold Spring Harbor coming up on April 13th at 4 p.m. And then Sacred Heart taking on St. Anthony's. That's April 17th at 5. And then John Jay and Cold Spring Harbor, two perennial powers there to wrap up the month. That game time still undecided, but should be a heck of a matchup right here on our Varsity Media Sports Network airwaves. So we will take a quick break, and then we'll have you back for the second half. A dominant 10-0 start for St. Anthony's. We'll see if Suffern has an answer next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
And we are back. Second half about to get underway. St. Anthony's 10-0 over Suffern. Again, this is a Suffern team that beat St. Anthony's a year ago. No Emma Muchnick, no Kate Burns, no Jenna Myhall this time around for Suffern. A torn ACL prematurely, far prematurely, ending the season of Daniela Trubiano for Suffern. So it's going to be a bit of a rebuilding year for John Callahan. Talking to him pregame, he said, look, last year we were a great team. We were borderline a special team, about 45 minutes away from, well, okay, longer than one game, so maybe an hour away from being state champions with a second half lead over Northport. But they lost a heck of a lot of talent. A lot of their best players this year are freshmen and sophomores. It's a program that's going on 3 or 4 decades of being absolutely elite. They compete with St. Anthony's year after year after year, but today, not their day. Early start, gloomy weather, and the Friars fired up after an unexpected 7-6 loss to Nassau County powerhouse Wantagh last week. Coming out playing angry, and that effort led by Tess Calabria, the all-everything junior, 4 goals. The number 8th ranked player in the country, absolutely controlling this game. Her fellow future Tar Heel, Lexi Zenk, dominant in the cage. Meg Kenny, another UNC commit, 2 goals in her own right. Laura Matika, her best game of the season, 2 goals so far. Kate Licciardi, a goal, a couple of assists. Fantastic defending by Amanda Pacey and Blair Davi. It's been a full team effort for the Friars. 25 minutes on the clock. It'll remain a running clock as long as the lead is at 10 goals. And the draw control hit up by Binkus, but Suffern earning possession. Michaela Fay trying to show off her excellent speed. She's been held in check, hasn't gotten a great look at the cage so far. Quinn McCarron heading to Villanova next year. Pressured well by Emma Toner, the basketball star. Fay, that's a quick dodge, beats 2 defenders, 3, 4, and puts it in. A Herculean effort for Michaela Fay.
Does that mean the clock stops now? Oh, my God.
And Suffern belatedly is on the board. Fay going high and winning. Against Lexi Zank, who remains in at goal, but expect Summer Copeland to rotate in Shea Lembo, the starting goaltender a year ago, a Stanford commit, who deserves a whole lot of credit, right? Because that is tough when you are one of the higher-ranked goaltenders in the country, lose your starting job, and Lembo has handled it with nothing but class and has done a fantastic job mentoring Lexi Zhang. That is an incredibly difficult thing to do at any level, professionally, in college, but to have that kind of maturity in high school is just really, really impressive. St. Anthony's, after the draw control win, will have an opportunity to respond. It's Binkus drawing the ball out. Now Megan Kenny going to work. Summer Copeland not taking anything for granted, still having her regulars in as Kenny missed on that connection, or potential connection with Calabria. Calabria's been such a weapon for Mex. Speeding in, throwing in goals, and throwing passes like that. But Kenny that time shut down, cleaned up by Terlizzi. So good start to the second half for Suffern. A score and a stop.
I just think they're not trying to add insult to injury. That's all.
Fortunato misfired the pass to Bellis, unable to grab, and sprinting the other way is Matika. DeCarlo, the Johns Hopkins commit. Kenny, what a swing. Pump and score for Tess Calabria, her 5th goal. Man, that connection absolutely thriving. Tar Heel to Tar Heel. Calabria all the way up to 14 goals on the season. Everyone knows about Lacey Downey, Kylie Colbert, 2 of the best players in America. Both headed to Boston College, widely considered 2 of the best in the country. But Tess Calabria, with her efforts early this season, a year younger than those 2, but looking to stake her name in that conversation for the best player on Long Island. Coveted spot year in and year out. Free position for Faye. And it's a yellow card called against Jenna Binkus, so she'll sit for 2 minutes. Doreno beats the ride. Faye using the screen for McCarran. An offensive infraction will give the Friars the ball. Back on running time as the lead back up to 10 goals. Kenny, a 1-woman clearance. Matika draws 2. Resets.
Oh, now you're nitpicking, Angelo. I see.
St. Anthony's is always set to play a highly competitive schedule this season. Dates with Manhasset, Cold Spring Harbor. You already mentioned we'll be showing their matchup with Sacred Heart. DiCarlo trying to get her hands free, can't. Well defended that time by Ruggiero. DiCarlo slings it in. Her second goal of the season.
Maybe it did.
First of the match.
No. Yeah, no, it didn't count.
Let's take another look.
It's
Coming in, Summer Copeland noted that DiCarlo has, quote, a lights-out stick. Was that another one in rapid succession for St. Anthony's? They go back-to-back. Megan Kenny finds a hat trick. It's been that kind of morning for St. Anthony's. You score, you look down for 2 seconds, they are scoring again.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Absolutely putting it on Suffern. So just to clarify what happened there, the initial shot, not a goal. It was a shooting space violation. And you don't get a continuation in those situations, so it just becomes a reset. So you can wipe the goal off for DiCarlo and give it to Megan Kenny. Or excuse me, it was Sam DiCarlo who scored. Diving to the cage, Calabria! A magic trick for Tess Calabria. Electricity in human form. National team member showing you why. Behind the head. Just piling on at this point. You got to imagine in the next couple of minutes, Summer Copeland going to start going deeper into her bench.
Suffering has a long ride home.
Where there's still a whole lot of talent. Look at the Kellenberg game. You look at that St. Dominic's game. Pretty much everyone got an opportunity to play for the Friars. Over 30 players getting on the field. Might be the last we see of Tess Calabria, Megan Kenny. The lead up to 12, 15 minutes to go. Molly Heine spinning. And it'll be free position for Jill Lopez, who had that goal in the first half.
Yeah, it is.
Lopez misses wide. There's John Callahan trusting the mental fortitude of Chilean Terlezzi. A lot of times in these situations, you'll see a coach take a goaltender out just to ensure they don't get too rattled, they don't lose confidence for future games. It is such a mental position, but Terlezzi, again, mature beyond her years, able to handle it. And I would think John Callahan just trying to get her as many reps against likely the most talented team on Suffern's schedule this season. A duck in, Calabria, same trick, same result. Tess Calabria up to 7. So you get another look. The cut, the finish, and one scoop. And a reminder that today's matchup, you get the full look of Tess Calabria's brilliance there, is presented by Catholic Health. And I'm hoping Catholic Health, maybe some St. Anthony's fans over there. In that case, they would be enjoying this one with 13:26 to go. 14-1 now is the lead for the Friars. Calabria, half of those 14 goals. An illicit box-out attempt that time by Jessica Schelling. Nice work from Hardwick trying to just reach over her. Schelling over to McCarron. Holman dragging out the Friars defense. Now it's Moretto. Or, sorry, it's Molly Mitchell. "12 minutes to go. Mitchell fumbles the ball on her own accord. And scooped up by Long. Suffern wins it back. Friars playing with renewed defensive intensity. And it'll be free position for Quinn McCarron, who Faye has the lone goal, but I would argue McCarron's been their most effective offensive player on the game. Certainly given the Friars the most trouble. The Villanova commit, a senior. One of the few contributors from last season's group still on the roster offensively. And an injured player down for Suffern. It was McCarron who took a bump. So McCarron will jog off the field. And it looks like we'll get right back to action with Charlotte Ullman operating from behind the cage. Casey Schelling coming in for McCarron.
There should be a mercy rule after 12.
Ullman jolting to get free. Can't find much space. Schelling ducks between two Friars. And well defended that time. Blair Davi chopped it away, streaking ahead. Davi leading the break. Oh, she wants it. Davi straight to the cage and in. Blair Davi, coast to coast. That's got to fire you up if you're a Friars fan. It's an old basketball. Excuse me, Amanda Pacey going coast to coast. This is Amanda Pacey, the Duke commit, flashing that incredible athletic ability. Free position for Leali. Quick move, Leali. Second goal of the game for Suffern. Leali, bottom right corner. So timeout taken by Suffern with a 15-2 lead for St. Anthony's. We will get ready to step aside as well here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. The Friars in control with 8:25 to go.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Oh, the shot that she made? That was sick, yeah. And we're talking up the exploits right now of Amanda Pacey in the press box, a Duke commit for lacrosse, but might want to try to play some basketball there. Had a shot that went viral in the Catholic playoffs, 70 feet away, opposite foul line, drained it with 1 foot, or with one hand rather. It was also 1 foot on the ground. And you talk to Summer Copeland, and man, she has a lot of great things to say about Tess Calabria, about Megan Kenny, but she will sing Amanda Pacey's praises all day. They had a play in the fall league this year where their opponent was stalling, and the bench for St. Anthony's was starting to get a little frustrated. And Summer just called out from the sideline and said, "Hey, go get the ball, Amanda." And Amanda went down, stole it immediately, and St. Anthony's, they have a new assistant coach this year. And his reaction was just like, wait, why don't you just tell her to do that all the time? And Amanda Pacey is that type of player, that type of talent, just wins the ball back in a way you rarely see from a defender. It's great instincts and a special athlete.
No, we may as well film the garbage truck rolling by. There's the Suffern school bus coming. I mean the garbage truck.
Little give and go. Nearly picked off.
Travis is our own fucking bobblehead. Look how ugly it is.
So free position for Suffern, looking for their third goal. Low shot, Zenk Took it off the turf. Late pass. Shot. Bouncer in. Kate Licciardi, her second. Off the assist from Jill Lopez. And Licciardi, kind of the unsung hero of this offense. Great creation from Jill Lopez. Drew the step up from the defender. And Licciardi, again, known more for her passing ability, but the LaSalle commit can also rip it, coming off a monster game. 2 goals, 3 assists against St. Dominic.
It really does. It really does.
Fight on the draw control, scooped up in traffic from Leali. Maris commit scored the second goal of this game for Suffern. It's going to be a lot of pressure on both Leali and Quinn McCarron as Michaela Fay, who's been fantastic to start this year, just continues to acclimate to the rigors of high school lacrosse. And as we mentioned, Daniela Trubiano, just a sophomore, but she was expected to be one of those key pieces, was fantastic a year ago as a freshman and tore her ACL in the first 3 games of the season. And Suffern's just been operating from they already needed a little bit more depth offensively, and that really compounded the issue. And it's not going to show against most teams who Suffern so good and so well coached. But again, the Friars, with their depth combined with their frontline talent, they have a way of just exposing those cracks in a way most high school teams simply can't, even in a down year for Suffern. McCarron. Over to Sullivan.
So true.
Ullman. Dispossessed. Good bit of defending that time. It's worth noting this St. Anthony's team dealing with an important injury of their own. Rose Christie likely out for the majority, if not the entirety of the season with a torn ACL. She's also a Villanova commit.
You know what, Angela, you may as well start
Quite possibly the best athlete they have in their senior class, and it
stay on my camera.
maybe part of what contributed to that loss to Wantagh for the Friars. I mean, outside of the fact that Wantagh is the top 15 team in the country, St. Anthony's just doesn't have a whole lot of seniors. Again, it's that junior class of Zank, Pacey, Calabria, and Kenny that really paces things. And it was a group that Summer Copeland was open about. It was going to take some time for them to fully gel. And they got challenges in terms of offseason scrimmages with programs like Garden City, with Bayport Blue Point, the defending Suffolk County champions. As there was a nifty move, but Emma Speed lost the ball on the roll dodge.
I know, I hate when
And it's going to be a work in progress for St. Anthony's, but work in progress for the Friars looks a lot different than it looks for 99.99% of the programs in the country.
No. Come on, the man's in training.
Just under 3 minutes to go, 16-2. The lead for St. Anthony's. Oh, just a little too much hustle that time for Kenny. I'm a bit surprised Megan Kenny still in the ball game, but I think that kind of relates back to what I was just saying, where again, if you're Summer Copeland, you only get so much time over the summer with this group. That's a big-time rip. And the third goal of the game, Quinn McCarron, good to see her back out there after suffering the injury early on. But I think the reason for the Friars, I mean, you look at it and they still have key pieces out there up by 13, 14 goals. Just every second is so valuable because this is a St. Anthony's program where all these girls play really high-level college lacrosse and they get to play together during fall league, but you don't necessarily have the same period that other schools have over the summer to get everyone together, get those reps as a unit, even as they're getting better as individuals. And, probably other coaches across the island are listening and saying, well, first world problems, but there's a reason that you still see the key pieces out there for St. Anthony's. And it's a great test for Suffern as you see the talent of Michaela Fay, who will earn a free position with under 90 seconds to go. Fay, a couple pumps, trying to get middle. That was an excellent bit of defense there from Emma Toner. Just held her ground really well, didn't get fooled by the pumps. Some of that basketball athleticism for Toner.
Call it now.
Olivia Mohel trying to turn the corner. Tracked well by Holly Hardwick. A nice strip on the ride to earn it back for Leali.
No, I got something directly after this, instantly.
Nearly stripped that time, was Shelling. Final 10 seconds. Suffern just for cosmetics, looking to pack on one more. Not going to happen. Blocked away by Holly Hardwick, and that should just about do it. The Friars, a dominant 16-3 win over the Suffern Mounties, making the long trip here this morning and getting dominated by St. Anthony's. And what a get-right game for the Friars. They were overwhelming in their victory over St. Dominic, 13-2 last game. But, man, you could tell they were still smarting from that loss to the Wantagh Warriors, and they took it out on a Suffern team that beat them a year ago. So we wanted to thank everyone for tuning in and thank our entire crew here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, running camera for us, Travis DeLuise, Ron Pierre, our producer, Angelo Cayazzo, and our executive producer, Ben Turchin. For our entire crew, I'm Gavin Shaw, signing off here from Cy Donnelly Field at St. Anthony's. A dominant 16-3 win for the Friars.